What's up, guys? It's your girl Nye, coming back with another banging video. Today's topic, I want to talk about why it's important to deal with people to their capacity and to not ignore the signs of who people truly are when you meet them. Now, what is dealing with people to their capacity? Dealing with people to their capacity may look like, you may have a friend, a family member, a coworker, anybody that you deal with on a day-to-day basis that have displayed that no matter the consequences, no matter how many times you talk to them, no matter what, they're going to be themselves. They're going to do exactly what it is that they do, and it's done in a repetitive way. So I'll give you an example. When it comes to the women in my family, they can be very ditzy when it comes to men, and a lot of the times if it is a thing where they have to choose you or the man, they're gonna choose the man. I'm gonna use a better example. Say you have a friend or a family member or whatever, and they take you to work, right? They take you to work. Now, you know that if you tell them that you got to be at work for 9:30, that they probably going to get to your house at 9:20 and you're going to be late for work. Instead of you telling them that you got to be at work for 9:30, tell them that you have to be at work for 9. They're going to get to your house at 9, and then you're going to get to work on time. You're going to be a little early, yes, but you're going to be at work on time. Okay, another example. Say you are in a relationship with somebody, and regardless of how many times you had this conversation, regardless of how many times you didn't talk to them, or whatever have you, they continuously do certain things and they're not changing. And instead of you getting upset about them being them, you just don't place yourselves in positions to be upset about that. Don't put yourself in a position to be dependent on people that are not dependable. Don't put yourself in a position to where, you have to trust people that you can't trust. For instance, you are a black woman, I'm assuming, right? You're a woman, and you have women in your family that you would just absolutely love to confide in and talk to and just tell all your problems to. But because this has been something that you've been dealing with since you've been a teenager, a toddler, since you can remember, that the things that you tell them in confidence, when they get mad enough, they're going to turn around and use that against you to try to hurt you. So instead of you continuously doing it, you're going to not tell them stuff. Now, I know that they may be hard. I know that they may be like, but who am I going to talk to? Talk to God about it. Talk to God about it. I know you may be like, well, who am I going to turn to? Or what can I do? You can journal. You can talk to yourself. You can talk to God. You can go to therapy. You can get you a life coach. Like, you can pay for this village. And if you don't have the resources right now to pay for your village, then you can use the free resources. You can pray. You can talk to God. You can talk to yourself, okay? I have went on many walks and had many talks with myself about things that have been very near and dear to my heart, that I know that if I share this with the women in my life, people in my life, they're going to use it against me. I'm not ready for that to be used against me. I don't want that to shape and shift our relationship. So because of that, I'm just gonna not give them information that can be used against me. It doesn't mean that you love these people any less. It just means that you know that you can deal with them to their capacity. Now, what are the signs that you need to look for with dealing with people to their capacity? One, and this is not a sign, this is just how you see the signs. Let people be who they're gonna be. So you don't come in telling people how they need to act. You don't come in policing. You don't come in paroling. Like, you're not the warden around this motherfucker. You're just not. You're a piece of their life, and you're just observing. And you just observe. Do they keep their promises? Do they lash out when they are in their feelings? Can they manage their emotions? Are they vindictive? Are they manipulative? How do they handle relationships outside of the relationship with you? How people do one thing is how they usually do everything. So if you see somebody who is a backstabbing bitch towards people, listen, it's only gonna be so long before that becomes your story too. If you see people that talk about people, even if it's like a family member that's talking about like a boss, or a loved one that's talking about a boss or a coworker, how are they talking about this boss and coworker? That is their, like, that's their personality, that's their character. When they make arrangements with people outside of you, even with you, like outside of you and with you, when these people are making, commitments and arrangements, are they keeping their commitments? How is the relationship with self? How do they talk about themselves? People that are at war with themselves will never be at peace with you, and that is just the federal facts. People that are at war with themselves can never and will never be at peace with you, because they're fighting that internal battle, and it's hard to offer peace when everything on the inside is chaos. So if you have people that speak about themselves in a very negative way, they are very just Debbie Downerish, or just very like woe is me, pity party, or always feeling bad, or just very negative spirited minded people about themselves, that energy is going to be displayed onto you. That don't mean that you have to stop dealing with these people, but that also means that you have to protect yourself and your own feelings and your own, your own day-to-day, to keep your own mental safe, dealing with people to their capacity. Now, in some instances, yes, you will not deal with these people, and it sucks, but it's just the truth. In some instances, you will have to cut people off, and not from a place of hate, but just because it's like, I love me so much that I have to love you. And me loving you mean I can't have you in my life if you're gonna bring more negativity into my life than you are positivity. I can't have you in my life if having you in my life make me feel bad about myself. I can't have you in my life if the way that you feel like resolving conflict is actually a terrible way to resolve conflict, and then that's really, really big. Really, really big. When you figure out how to deal with people, if people are terrible at resolving conflict amongst themselves or with other people, or just, in their own life, I can guarantee you that these people will not be good at resolving conflict with you. And resolving conflict and managing your emotions go hand in hand. So if people are usually very bad at handling their own emotions, then they're probably going to be kind of bad at resolving conflict too, because you have to be able to manage your own emotions and check your own ego and check your own, feelings when it comes to managing emotions. Now, if you want to be around like-minded women who know how to manage their emotions, and we learning how to be better women, and we learning how to be better moms, and we learning how to just conduct life in a way that keeps us positive and going, then my app, Next Gen Circle, is the best place for you. It's a sisterhood circle where we in there, we are growing, learning, evolving, and developing in the best way possible. Link is in the description. If you love what I've been talking about, then you would absolutely love my Substack. It's where I talk about a lot of different topics in detail in a writing form. So if you are a reader like myself, then you would love my Substack. Dealing with people to their capacity can be hard at first, especially if you grow up in a household where you've had to constantly manage other people's emotions for them, or you've dealt with people that, are probably kind of vindictive, or they lash out, or y'all may not have the best relationship, and then y'all get back cool, and then it's like a repetitive cycle, right? And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be anybody. If you grew up in that dynamic, then it's hard dealing with people to their capacity at first, because a part of you feel bad, because it's like you have to start setting boundaries. You have to start letting people know, I can't go for that. I can't go for that. And not because I hate you, but because I love myself. And because I love myself, I can't go for that. And it don't even have to be in a way to where we just into it, or I'm being combative or argumentative. I'm just gonna let you know I don't like that. Now, something that you also have to think about is when you do start placing boundaries, you will come off argumentative and combative to people that do not respect boundaries and do not respect you and do not respect what you're saying. And a lot of the times you can't even take it personal because people receive things from where they are in life. So if they dealing with that internal battle and they dealing with that internal hell, then they're going to pass it down to you. And so when you start putting in boundaries and you start having standards for how people have to deal with you and how they have to respect you, because you start dealing with you differently and you start respecting yourself differently, that's going to come out argumentative to some people. That's going to come out combative to some people, because it takes a level of self-awareness to be able to start placing boundaries and standards upon people, places, and things and different relationships. So just be cautious about that. You know, that comes from people not really being okay with boundaries and standards within themselves. So you have to be very self-aware to understand that I'm not doing anything wrong necessarily. This person is just receiving it wrong. And then you, because you're dealing with people to their capacity, just take the biggest step back. And sometimes taking steps back will remove you from people's lives, but it's life. You can't really just be so sad about it, because we never lose people. We always are just transitioning. So it's like one relationship may end, but then that opens the door for another relationship that will be more in alignment with the woman that you desire to be, with the woman that you're going to be, the woman that you're growing into. You know, we got to leave all that I'm just a girl rhetoric behind. We're not girls anymore. We're women, and it's time to start acting like it, living like it, and dealing with people like it. And that starts with us dealing with people to their capacity, so that we are not overflowed with so much to where we so overstimulated with life that we can't pour into ourselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you got to constantly ensure that your cup is full, and that's starting with not putting yourself in a position to where you dealing with somebody and you trying to change them. You can't change people. You can't change people. People have to change for themselves. And it hurts sometimes, because it's like, it will hurt, because these will be people that you love. This could be your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your best friend, you know, your favorite coworker. Like, it could be anybody. It's gonna hurt. But I'll tell you this. You can either cry now or you can cry forever. You can suffer now or you can suffer forever. So either you start dealing with people to their capacity now and you start placing boundaries and standards now, and you just deal with the heartbreak of having to let some people go or having to ease back on certain relationships, or you can deal with people how you've been dealing with them and just continue the cycle of being upset and frustrated and, you know, up and down an emotional roller coaster, and now you taking on everybody else stuff, and now you dealing with everybody else stuff. You can do that, but do you want to? So that's my little tidbit for today. I love you, baby, and you know this, okay? Get in the sisterhood circle, link in description. From my corner to yours. Hug yourself, love yourself. Bye.